After getting deals done with Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, and TJ Edwards, who is the Bear most likely to get a contract extension next? What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about the three players on the Bears roster that are most likely to receive contract extensions this season. Most of the moves I expected from Ryan Poles when it comes to extensions are already done. Kyler Gordon, Joe Tooney, and Jonah Jackson all got their extensions done early. But on top of that, TJ Edwards was also rewarded with an extension on defense. Ryan Poles' list of players he's extended continues growing. He previously worked out deals for Jalen Johnson, Montez Sweat, DJ Moore, Andrew Billings, and Cole Kmet. That brings the total to 9 players given contract extensions to stay in Chicago in just 3 seasons on the job. With more than a handful of starters or key backups also in the last year of their deals, I'm going to discuss the 3 players most likely to be extended next and talk briefly about whether or not I believe a deal gets done. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First up is Jaquan Brisker, Ryan Poles' second draft pick he ever made. The former Penn State standout has flashed huge upside in the NFL, but he's also struggled to stay healthy. He missed a pair of games in both of his first 2 seasons, but he's still an ascending player who is slowly developing into one of the better players on our defense. I think some people have forgotten how good Brisk was in 2022 and 2023. His rookie season in the NFL, he had 104 tackles, 4 sacks, and an interception. He also added 2 pass deflections, 5 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits, and a forced fumble. In his second year, he again had 100 plus tackles, finishing with 105, while still getting 1 interception, 1 sack, 5 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles. He's shown an ability to make plays in the NFL. Last year, though, his career would take a step back as he missed 12 games due to concussion symptoms, and even though there were reports that he was healthy late in the year, Eberflus decided to keep Brisker on the shelf and hold him out for the rest of the season. Now he's 100% healthy, and heading into 2025, he is probably the Chicago Bear with the most to prove. And I know how highly Ryan Poles in this front office thinks of Brisker. When you combine that with Dennis Allen also really liking this guy, think back to the story that Dennis Allen told. He said that he wanted to draft Brisker for the Saints in 2022, and he missed out on him by 1 pick. But when you consider all that, I believe Brisker's chances of staying in Chicago long term are definitely pretty high. I believe the most likely situation here is we let the season play out, see how Brisker responds all season, and then we work out an extension with him after the year. But I do believe there's a chance that we could also approach Brisk early and offer him a team-friendly short-term extension as well. Maybe they want to make sure he stays in Chicago and let him prove he's healthy before giving him the long-term deal. Either way, though, I want Brisker to stay with the Bears long-term, and I'm really hoping he can stay healthy and potentially have a breakout season in 2025. Don't forget about Jaquan Brisker. Way too many people have written this guy off. Next up, though, is our other starting safety, Kevin Byard, a veteran and a leader in our secondary. He was actually asked about this in his recent press conference, and this is a guy who understands the business of the NFL. At his age and his position, every year he has left is a 1 year deal for Byard. Technically, because if he doesn't perform, he'll most likely get cut. But this is a guy who sounds like he would want to finish his career in Chicago. He's motivated. He's a really strong locker room guy, a veteran leader on the back end of our defense, a guy with 29 career interceptions. But he will turn 32 years old this year in the preseason. I think if we offered Byard an extension, it would most likely just be for 1 more year. At this stage of his career, it's probably better to wait until after the season, see how he plays, see how he responds in Dennis Allen's defense, and then make the decision in the offseason. But Byard is a solid player who makes our secondary better. This very well could be his last year in Chicago, but I'd love to keep him here for 1 more season. Finally, the guy I wanted to talk about is Big Bill, Andrew Billings. a guy who Ryan Poles not only signed as a free agent already, but he's also already extended Billings as well. Andrew Billings will go down as one of Ryan Poles' best value signings. He initially signed Billings for just 1 year and $3.5 million. Billings' cap hit this year is just $3.3 million, and he has zero money guaranteed. Now, he will be 30 years old this year, but he's still one of the better nose tackles in the NFL. And while he might not be a three down guy, this is a guy who's capable of helping this team against the run for at least another couple of years. There was some talk this offseason, though, that Billings could potentially retire after 2025. But keeping Billings around if he wanted to, I believe would really help this defensive line and be a smart move. With Grady Jarrett, Jervon Dexter, and Shamar Turner, we have a lot of depth and talent at the position. But Billings is a guy whose run stuffing prowess cannot be ignored, and he would maybe even sign for a little bit cheaper and play more of a part-time role. Most likely, though, Ryan Poles will wait until after the season is over, or at least hit mid-season before making any of these guys contract offers. But those are the three players I believe are most likely to get extensions after this year. There is one more player we have to talk about, though, Braxton Jones. He's in such a tough situation. Braxton would probably be my number one choice on this list easily if left tackles didn't make so much money. They just simply make too much, and I think Braxton is also just not a good fit with Ben Johnson's offense. Our new head coach likes more power and anchor from the tackle position, and Braxton, while he is a good player, he's more of a finesse blocker than a power guy. And while he is capable of adding strength and getting better with his anchor, that's really hard to do when you're coming back from an ankle injury and off-season surgery. So even though he's a good player and he will continue being a starting left tackle in this league going forward, most likely Braxton Jones will not be a Bear in 2026. There's always a chance. You can't completely rule it out, but I believe Ozzie Trapillo or Karan Amagaji both have a shot to win that left tackle job this year and try to solidify that position going forward. Other than those players right now, though, I don't really think anyone is in line for an extension. I have heard people mention Ryan Bates, and that's a guy who just has to make the roster. He has to prove his shoulder's healthy or he'll be cut. No way does he get extended right now. And then people have also talked about the wide receivers we signed this offseason, Olamide Zaccheaus and Devin DuVernay. Sure, they could end up getting extended, but I don't think right now is the right time. That's probably something that would happen after the season. But let me know how you guys feel about this one. Is there anyone you would like to see get extended? Let me know in the comments. Thanks to everyone who watches. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. I have a ton more content on the way. And until next time, bear down.